and Drake University head football coach Rob Ash. The Rob Ash Show is brought to you in part by Dave Ostrom Mitsubishi, 90th and Hickman in Des Moines.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rob Ash TV show. I'm Mick Creel, along with Drake football coach Rob Ash. And, Coach, ball game last week against Simpson, and the Storm ended up in a 20-20 tie. Not the way you wanted it to finish, but you'll be happy with the tie.
Well, that's right, Mick. You got to look at it positively. We had lost the last 2 years, and this wasn't a loss this year, although it's difficult for us to take a little bit because we were ahead, and Simpson came back to tie us, and give them credit, they came back.
Certainly a ball game the Drake Bulldogs played very well in. Quite a few kids played well for you in the opening game.
Well, I was pretty happy with our performance, Mick. We had a very good defensive effort. We allowed 2 big plays, but otherwise we did a pretty good job. And offensively, I thought we moved the ball extremely effectively against a very good Simpson defense. And there were a lot of positives in the first game. Offensively,
the Drake Bulldogs got inside the 10-yard line a couple of times. Couldn't come away with that touchdown, though, but got the field goal.
That's right, Mick. I was happy about that. Last year, it was the 10th game of the season before we got a field goal. We got 2 in our first game this year, so the kicking game was a little better, but we were inside the 10 3 times and only got 1 touchdown. And that's going to be something we'll have to work on.
And certainly when Simpson got the ball in the third quarter, had the win, the Drake defense came up, stopped them in that quarter, did quite well.
Well, second half was a great football game. Simpson was behind 17-13, and they took the wind, and we took the ball away from them. We had the ball for 10 minutes in the third quarter, controlled the football game, and then when we got the wind in the fourth quarter, we drove right down for what should have been a winning touchdown, but unfortunately we just got the field goal. Then they came back.
Not many surprises in that football game for the Bulldogs. I thought you played very well on both sides of the ball. Were you happy with the game plan?
Well, I think it worked out pretty well, Mick. The big question for us was at tailback, where we had the freshmen, and I thought Damon Taylor and Julian Nathaniel both did a great job playing their first football game ever in college. And we had a young man named Matt Garvis on the defensive side who was playing his first college football game, and he did a pretty good job too. So a couple questions were answered, and our veterans came through and played very well.
And certainly the football game, the first one's always tough for any coach and any players, and certainly they came through with that one.
I was pretty happy about it, but at the same time, I think that, you know, looking at the faces of our players after this football game, you wouldn't see a lot of happy faces. I mean, we went into the game hoping to win. Our seniors in particular wanted to win and get the season kicked off right, so we still have some work to do.
Well, we're back to take a look at the football game, Drake and Simpson, right after this. Oh, Coach, I thought going into the ball game after preseason drills, you and your coaching staff felt pretty comfortable with your team going into the Simpson game.
Well, Mick, we've got a great group of seniors, as we talked at length about last week on the show, and I think those seniors gave us a lot of confidence, a lot of experience, a lot of great leadership, and they all came through. We were a little tight, though, going into this game. Everybody was very nervous, and I hope that as the year goes along that we'll be able to relax and just have fun and play ball.
Well, Coach, let's watch the highlights of this football game between Drake and Simpson, the opener for the Bulldogs.
They're down at Indianola. They have a nice little campus down there, and we started out with a good crowd. Simpson had the ball in the first possession of the football game. We did a great job on second down here. Kevin Beveridge, one of our seniors, coming through for a sack. Got him in a 3rd and 21 situation, and look what happened. They ran a draw play. I'm sure they were just trying to get a few yards. We had 2 or 3 missed tackles, and Trent Nauholtz, number 24, who is a great running back, took it all the way for the touchdown. We hadn't even touched the ball yet, Mick, and we were behind. But here's a key play in the game. The extra point into the wind. It got shanked off to the side, so it was only 6-0. I don't think anybody realized how important that point would be at that time. So, but we hadn't had the ball yet, and I'm thinking about 2 years ago where they came out and really blitzed us early in the game and got a big lead. Here's our first offensive possession. Jamie D'Angelo was flushed out of the pocket, had to scramble, but he found Chad Briley on the sidelines for a completion. We tried to mix it up with run and pass, but Simpson brought an awful lot of pressure. Here they come again. They brought 7 people. But that left him with man-to-man coverage behind it, and Jeff Creel, number 8, makes the reception. That was a 3rd and 10 play where we got the first down. So our passing game got us out of the hole. Here's Damon Taylor running a counter. We finally, after several short runs, burst one out there for a 10-yard gain or so and got things going. I thought Damon, again, played a good game in his first football game as a college player. We'll play action here now on first down. We got the ball to Don Sowing, and he caught the ball out in the flat. We're trying to keep Simpson off balance. That was a first down pass. We had run the ball on first down 3 or 4 times before that. Same kind of play action here. Jamie got flushed out of the pocket again, but this is what he does so well for our football team. He turns what should have been a loss into a gain, clear down inside the 10. Now here's one of our goal line series. This is the third down play in the goal line. Play action, tight ends coming across the middle. We got hung up with a couple players in the back of the end zone. So on 4th and goal, we had to kick the field goal. That was the first of our 3 possessions down deep inside Simpson territory. And this is one of the times we came away with just a field goal. I'm glad we got the field goal, but we would have rather, of course, had the touchdown. On this kick right here, Bill Willers, who was our first-string kicker at the time for field goals, got rolled into, sprained his ankle. He'll be out for about 4 weeks. It's one of those deals where the blocker came in. I'm asking the official right there if it wasn't a roughing the kicker penalty, and upon review of the films, I think it should be, but it's too late right now, and the main thing is that Billy's out. Here's a blitz, Todd DeMoss, number 40, getting in the backfield for a big tackle and a big loss. Here's a great play coming up by Joe Bianchi. Nice tackle. Joe Bianchi from Lincoln High School here in Des Moines, same high school as Bill Willers and Jamie D'Angelo, came up and forced the quarterback after he thought he was going to get out of the pocket. So that gave Simpson big yardage. They tried the same touchdown play they had gotten the touchdown on a little bit ago, and much different results this time. Craig Ortworth, number 99, is a sophomore in his first college start. You're going to see a lot of number 99. That was he played a very good game in his first start for us. So we got the ball back here, and we tried to go downtown. Still in the first quarter, we had the wind, and here's Chad Briley making a good catch deep behind the Simpson secondary. He hit the ground there, and the ball bounced out, but it was a completion, and that got us right down into the Simpson territory again. Here's Tom Stone, our center, running all the way down to give us the high five. The quarter changed. We had to go the other direction, but on 3rd and goal, we got to Damon Taylor, and he goes over the top. There's really only about a yard to go, and he just snuck it over the top of the line. So there was the one time we got the touchdown, and that was very satisfying. We thought we could throw deep on Simpson, and we've got good speed at the wide receiver positions, the big play on the catch, and we were able to get it in for the touchdown and the lead. Here again, Simpson rolling out. This is a 3rd and 8 situation. Joe Bianchi with a very aggressive play, but they called pass interference. It was a good call. Joe just got a little over-eager there. Had him covered. I think he didn't need to interfere with him, but he did. That kept Simpson's drive alive. Here they had a nice play called. They had a rollout with Naholtz cutting back the other way. It was a good tackle by Mark Simon there. Otherwise, that could have been a touchdown. Now they roll out again, getting some of their pass game fired up. Very nice completion there. You can see we've got the coverage on each of these plays. But then we stopped them on 2 plays, and on 3rd down, on this one particular play, they hit the fullback out of the backfield. We had a breakdown in our coverage. The linebacker who was supposed to cover the back out didn't get his assignment, so they got the touchdown and went ahead. He scored on that first dive. Didn't need the second effort. We're talking about who was supposed to cover the back out there, and that was a breakdown in our communication. But give Simpson credit, they got ahead right there, and then this play right here probably turned the game around in our favor. Chad Briley takes the very ensuing kickoff right after that touchdown by Simpson. Beautiful run all the way down the sideline for a touchdown. And I tell you, there's nothing more dramatic. Simpson just worked real hard, drove all the way down the field and scored, and we turned it right around and got the lead back. Watch Chad here come again. There's several good blocks at the point of attack. Then Sean Diggs makes a block right here in front, and then Chad outruns the rest of the coverage. And you can see why we thought we could throw the ball down the field. Chad's got good speed, and there's about 5 or 6 other guys on our team that can run with Chad. I think that's going to be an asset for our team in terms of the season, because we have good speed in those positions. But what a turnaround. We were behind 13-10, and now we're ahead 17-13 on one play. Problem was the defense had to go right back out on the field. I was concerned they might get tired. Simpson tried to get it right back, and instead Mark Simon got the pick. This was Simpson's only turnover for the game. That's a very good performance by them in the first game, only to have 1 turnover. Mark Simon is one of those seniors, our captain. That was nice to get that turnover. Unfortunately, we turned right around and fumbled the ball back to them about 3 plays later, so that we were not able to capitalize on that particular play. Here's a nice pass from Jamie D'Angelo to Jeff Creel. This was a 3rd down and 8 situation. And, we were trying some of these short passes because of the pressure that Simpson gave us. They really decided that's how they were going to defend us. Here they come with pressure again, and Jamie rolled out. Most of the Simpson defense was fooled on this play. They thought that he had given the ball to the running back. Great play action on that by our freshman tailback, Julian Nathaniel. They all tackled him. and Jamie ran around the end for a big gain. We couldn't capitalize on it, though. We went into halftime just with a 17-13 lead.
Boy, the first half, you got to be real impressed, though, with Jamie DeAngelo scrambling with all the pressure from Simpson.
That's right, and I think that's a big factor. Now, knowing their pressure, we came out in the second half here and threw a screen pass on our second play of the second half. That's Mike Stanfeld getting the ball, and unfortunately, even though he gained 30 yards on this play, it was devastating for us because we had a holding call. It's a good call, and you know, just a bad decision by the tackle who held, and that was ended up being a 40-yard penalty. So we ended up getting pinned down deep, but here's Mike Stanfeld again. This was a key play because Simpson had punted us down. After an exchange of punts, we ended up inside the 5. We were able to get it out of here with that good run by Mike Stanfeld. And a nice completion here from Jamie to a freshman receiver, Rich Hoskins. And you keep hearing us talk about freshmen. We had a very good recruiting class, and some of these freshmen really started to show what they can do already in the first game. So that got us out of the hole. It's very important. Here's the same play that we ran a little bit earlier. Watch what happens at the end of this play. Jamie's out of bounds, gets bashed around on their sideline, pushed over the bench. No penalty. And, you know, there's a sort of an unwritten rule, in my opinion, on you know, when a guy goes into the sideline, the players on the sideline are supposed to catch him and not let him fall into the bench, but that didn't happen there. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. Here we are again on the Simpson, another great job punting us down deep, but we got a nice run there by Julian, and then another quick pass to Jeff Creel. He about stumbled and fell, but he just made it to the stick, you can see. So that was another time, a second time in a row that we had been pinned deep in our territory, but we were able to get out, get a first down, and more importantly, take the time off the clock. Starting fourth quarter action now. We're still trying to throw the ball deep. There's another pass to Briley. You can see he had a couple steps on his man. We still had the wind. We went play action. Now we're trying to throw deep to Jeff Creel. Jeff just barely missed that ball right there on the sideline. Again, he was behind his defender, so we were unable to get it turned around. But we did, you know, we did have to punt the ball away, and with the wind, we got a good roll. Got Simpson pinned deep in their territory. Defense playing real well right now, as you can see. Great hit right there. I think that was Todd Lee. We've got some, you know, a situation now where we've got the ball in the fourth quarter. We pinned them down deep with the punt. Defense held them. They punted back to us into the wind, and we got the football. Unfortunately, on the first play here, Jason Anthony sacked Jamie. We almost lost the ball. Luckily, one of our linemen was alert and picked it up. Got ourselves in a long yardage situation, but we came back to the screen pass. Mike Stanfield picked it off here, made a good move. Looks like a Penn State player, doesn't he, with those black shoes there. But Mike made a good play. Now we got third down and short yardage. Damon Taylor with a real nice move gets the first down. We had third and about 4. Here's third and about 2. Mike Stanfield runs for the first down. We're running for first downs on third down, controlling the football game. Fourth quarter now, we've got a lead. We're driving in for what ought to be a clinching touchdown. Here's Jamie again having to scramble a little bit. He finds Jeff Creel down in about the 5-yard line. This sets up the key series in the football game. 17-13 lead. We've got an opportunity here to put the game away. On first down, we run Damon. Second down, we run him again, and the Simpson linebacker, number 40, came through and stopped him, so it was 3rd and goal. We tried a play-action pass. We've got Jeff Brigger out on the outside. An excellent play there by Chad Earwood, knocking the ball away. So we had to settle for the field goal, and we made it to go ahead 20-13. You know, if we score the touchdown there and go ahead 24-13, I think we'd have had the game in hand. But instead, we had to settle for the field goal, and I'm glad we got the field goal because just a few seconds later, we had a bust on a stunt. We had a linebacker who scraped outside instead of just filling his gap inside. He got the wrong call. Simpson had the right play called at the right time, and they tied us up 20-20. That was a shocking play because it was just a fullback dive, but give them credit. I mean, they had the right play called at the right time. All of a sudden, we were in a tie game. We tried to go down the field here to Jeff Creel. Had pretty good coverage that time, and just off his fingertips. So Simpson got the ball back for a last effort. You can see our defense was still real tough. Those guys did a great job. If we could have just taken away those 2 big runs, you know, we'd have been in great shape. Here's almost a near miss. Naholtz cut back, but number 55, Matt Garvis, did a great job finding him and bringing him down. Finally, with 15 seconds left in the game, we threw the ball deep to Chad Briley one last time. Chad's got it in his hands here, but just missed, and their player ended up coming up with an interception. Had Chad caught that ball, we'd have had it on the 30. We could have lined up for a 47-yard field goal with the wind. Possibly could have had something going there, maybe a chance to win the game. I'm shaking the hand of Miles Easter, who's the defensive coordinator for Simpson, and there's Coach Williams, talking over the game. Nobody liked the tie. I think the tiebreaker, sudden death type of thing's probably going to come in college football, and I think both teams would have rather maybe kept playing, but we didn't have that rule in operation, so we're just congratulating each other, shaking each other's hands, and saying good ball game.
It's time now for our Christopher's Scoreboard, brought to you by Christopher's Restaurant. Coach, stats look good for Drake.
That's right, Mick. If you look down the line, we had more first downs, more plays, more total yards, but I'd like everybody to concentrate on the last 3 lines of these statistics. First of all, there were too many penalties on both sides in this game, 8 for us, 10 for them. The punting was interesting. I mean, we both punted about the same number of times, but Simpson had a clear advantage. On the other hand, in Drake's favor, the possession time, I like that statistic. We were well ahead of that. A lot of positives on those statistical page. Here's some individual leaders that we're going to show this year. Our leading tacklers, Steve Tenold, Mark Simon, Greg Gerlach, just like you'd figure, our senior top defensive players. Our leading rusher was Mike Stanfield, who played mostly in the second half. And of course, Jeff Creel, our 5th-year senior, and Chad Briley were the leading receivers.
Mention again, Christopher's Restaurant, our sponsor, a tradition in Des Moines for 30 years. Christopher's features fresh pastas, aged Iowa beef, and fresh seafood. Its lounge is a great place to have a pizza and watch the game or the Rob A. Show. We're back to take a look at the players of the game, but first we need to mention a few folks that make this show possible.
Our Drake football team uses a lot of option routes in our wide open pass game. We like them because they work. Another option that can work for you is to stay at a Knapp Hotel property in Des Moines. The Savory, Valley West Inn, Travelodge North, and the Drake Inn. So whether you're coming to Des Moines for a Drake football weekend, business, or a quiet getaway, you'll pick a winner with Knapp Hotel Properties. For more information, call 1-800-798-2151 and enjoy the Knapp Hotel experience.
And welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Next up, it's time to name our Dave Ostrom Mitsubishi Players of the Week, Coach, and it's never easy, and you got to do the duties.
Thank you, Mick. We had a lot of good performances in the game, but our Offensive Player of the Week is Chad Briley. Chad, of course, had the big kickoff return for a touchdown, also had the one big catch, and had a real good overall game for us, and had a great performance. Our Defensive Player of the Week is Joe Bianchi. Joe was a strong safety, number 34. Joe's one of the guys that has really come on during his career and developed into an outstanding player. Worked hard, not one of those that really jumped into the scene right away as a freshman, but has worked hard. Now he's a junior, become a starter for us, and had a great performance. So those two guys are well deserving of the awards, but there were a lot of good performances in the game.
Indeed there was, Coach, and you mentioned how tough it was, certainly because you played so many players. One of the things the Drake fans are going to see this year is the depth.
Well, that's what we're going to try to concentrate on, Mick. We think it's a real advantage in our program. We're going to try to use a lot of different people at each position. I made the comment to the quarterback club the other day that on offense against Simpson, we only had one player, and that was our quarterback, Jamie D'Angelo, who played every offensive play. At every other position, we rotated people, and we used 6 wide receivers. We used 5 different running backs. We had 8 different guys who caught the football. Defensively, we used 8 different defensive down linemen, 4 linebackers, and so forth. I think if we can continue to do that, our second half performances should be strong, and hopefully that'll be an advantage for us.
Next up is our home team pizza player interview. Today it is Jeff Creel. Coach, a good ball player for you, all-around player.
Well, Jeff's been a great player throughout his career. This is his 5th year. He's back after an injury hardship, took him out of the lineup last season, and we're real happy to have Jeff back and ready to go with his interview.
Last year was, I guess, my official senior year. I got hurt in the very first pass of the very first game, the first quarter. A little unfortunate. I just came through probably my best camp of my 4 years being here. I was really looking forward to playing this year because I lived with my roommate, was Blake Pilgrim, quarterback 4 years, and he played behind Steve Osterberger, an All-American. Never really got a chance to play, and I was excited to play with Blake for the first year. We'd always done well in practice, and this was going to be our year. And then the very first play, I got hurt. Decided to take a redshirt year, come back to play this year because I wasn't going to finish in 4 years anyway. I had a semester left, and I decided to come back and play again. I guess I'm really not a part of the true 4-year senior class this year. My true senior class was last year, but they have adopted me and brought us in. They did something that my class didn't do last year. Is they had off-season meetings and decided they wanted to be a close team, and they really are. They've brought me in well, and we've made some decisions as a group which we want the team to follow through, and I think it's going to help us as a team this year, and I'm really appreciative of that. I guess this team is different than any other team because you don't have playoffs to shoot for or a conference. We were all expecting to have a conference this year, and Coach Ash took us aside one day and told us that, well, that wasn't going to happen this year. We got dropped. And at first that really hurt because that was the first time I thought me even staying this extra year I was going to be first thing I ever did do for is getting a conference. But it's still the same thing as you always had. It's your love for the game, and it's football all over again, no matter what level it is. You got the fans out there cheering you on, and you just go out there every day and do your job, and that's what we're out here for. You're not getting any money for it, so you got to do it because you love it. I'm going through my second senior camp. Besides being teased and being called the oldest man on the team and getting retirement jokes and Social Security check jokes and everything like that, I don't know, because last year you look forward to thinking, this is my last mile I'm going to run. These are the last squad tests I'm going to do and everything else. And you kind of, in a way, it's sad, but in a way you're looking forward to that because no one likes to run the mile. And coming back to do it again, I guess it was a little rough at first just because thinking, well, you geared yourself up because you were going to be done. But then you realize how much you love the game and you want to come back. And it was a little different, but I don't know. I'm glad I did it and never will forget it.
The creators of the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, 1991 Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, proudly present
Augustana would like to remind you about our contest, our Hopkins Sporting Good contest we have going here on the Rob A Show. And let's take a look at the address you need to send into the Hopkins Sporting Good weekly drawing. Send your name, phone number, and the name of this week's player interviewed to the Rob A Show, Drake University Fieldhouse, Des Moines, Iowa, 50311. Well, Coach, it's Augustana, a team that lost last week, certainly a rare loss for them. They lost to Loris and have not lost in September for some 10 years.
It's unbelievable, Mick. That was a great win for Loris College's program and a shocking loss for Augustana. They hadn't lost in September for 11 or 12 years, and I'm sure it wasn't a game that Coach Reed and the Augustana team expected to lose. We've seen the tape, though. Loris played a fine game, and Augustana helped them out a little bit with some turnovers, and I don't think they're going to be in a very good mood when they come into Des Moines.
I think you bring up a good point. That was Augustana's first game of the year and Loris's second. Now it's going to be their second coming in here to Drake University. It's out of Rock Island, Illinois, and they really recruit well.
They have a great program, Mick. Coach Reed came there from Geneseo High School in Illinois. He had won several state championships in the high school level and had a 60-game winning streak. And he runs an unusual style of football. They play 2 tight ends, 3 backs. All they do is run the football, basically, maybe 5 or 6 passes a game. And they play a straight 50 defense and just come after you. And people said, well, that'll work in high school, but it won't work in college. And he came to Augustana 12 years ago, and it worked great. They were the dominant team in the country in Division III for all the decade of the 1980s, and at one point they won 4 straight national championships. So we're playing a class program.
I think one of the keys, of course, anytime you try and stop their offense is to keep your offense on the field. That'll be your key, I take it.
Well, that's right. They play ball possession football, and they really wear you down. One year when they had one of their national championship teams, they averaged 81 rushing plays a game throughout the course of the season, and their possession time was phenomenal. We're going to try to keep the ball in our possession and not let them wear our defense down. That's going to be the key to the game.
Coach, certainly Augustana had to see the tape of the Simpson game. Simpson brought a lot of pressure in on you from the linebacker position. I got to believe your offense is going to still see that pressure this week.
Well, that's Augustana's style. I know they will try to pick up on some of the things Simpson did, but in general, they'll do what they want to do. They've played the same defense for several years. They rush 5 or 6 guys on every pass attempt. They really try to make things happen at the point of attack, and they have some good players. They have an All-American middle guard that's really fun to watch on tape, unless you have to play him. He's about 6 foot tall. He's 280 pounds and a real good player, George Anang, and he's a guy that really anchors that 5-2 defense.
Coach, we've talked about the depth of the Drake Bulldogs this year. Saw a lot of players last week. Are we going to see as many players this week for you?
Yes, Mick. We have great confidence in our guys that we played against Simpson. We're going to continue to play a lot of people. We think that's the advantage that we can bring to this football game, and if we're going to play well against Augustana, we have to be fresh and sharp on every play.
You talked a little bit about injuries already. Deshaun Diggs, is he going to be back?
Diggsy hurt an ankle, but I think he's going to be okay by Saturday. We lost a reserve linebacker, Dave Palladino, who's a good special teams player, and Bill Willers, our kicker. But we, as far as our two deep goes, if Diggsy can get back there, we'll be healthy. And we came out of the game pretty good, the Simpson game, so I'm looking forward to a healthy team.
Everybody wants to know, though, Rob Ashe likes to put it in the air. He likes to throw the bombs. He likes to run some different plays. Will Rob Ashe keep it on the ground, try and play control-type offense for this football game?
You know me better than that. And we're gonna open it up. We have to, but we're not going to try to score 50 points against Augustana. We want to control the football with a possession passing game, and we have a couple trick plays up our sleeve. We'll pull out when we need them.
It's going to be a great football game.
It really should be, and I just recommend people to come and take a look at this. You're going to see a class football team in Augustana, one of the top teams in the country in Division III, and we have an opportunity to play against them, and our team can play with these people, and I really hope people will come out and watch the game.
Coach, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you next week on The Rob Ashe Show.